There we go. Hey guys, my name is Casper Jones. I handcraft skateboards for Life Skateboards. You can get one of your own at lifeskateboard.com. It's going to be a little bit of a short day. Sorry that I haven't been doing my lives lately. Been really busy and also injured. Today we're just going to be looking at monster press and shaping, I think it's 6 boards in the other room. If you're watching this after my live, thank you so much for boosting my watch hours. You guys are the reason I'm getting closer to getting paid on here, and that's what I need. So first I'm going to share this to another platform. We're back. Alright, so we're going to start this off with a 6-ply monster. These guys are 15 inches wide going into the press. The biggest thing we pull out of here is a 14.2. This is all I'm going to be pressing today. 6-ply is what we suggest, but obviously we do a 7 because that's the people get what they want from Life Skateboards. Whew. Let's see. I was helping with the Q Skate Park Summer Camp this week. Lots of fun. It just took up a lot of my time. And then on Friday I took a real weird slam and my right knee has not recovered from that. So if I'm a little slow to kneel down and work today, that's what's going on. Whew. Go ahead and send this over to a couple of people here. Thanks for tuning in, guys. I'm just sending this live over to a couple people. And there we go. Alright, so if you're noticing here, I'm gluing these boards by hand. The reason we do that is we want to give you full glue coverage on every side of every ply inside of your skateboard. General Factory uses a glue machine where the plies run through it and it covers those plies in glue. When it does that, the machine has to miss this ply, the crossband, and it has to miss the faces. Hi there, I'm chilling. Thanks for tuning in. I'm doing alright. Hope you're doing great this, it's noon. Can I still say morning? It feels like morning to me. So, but with that full glue coverage on every side of every ply inside of your skateboard, we're able to guarantee against DLAM here at Life Skateboards. If you're just now tuning in, I'm making skateboards for Life Skateboards. I'm going to be gluing up 2 of these. This is a 6-ply. And then we're going to go in the next room and shape 6 boards. Hardest thing for me today is going to be kneeling down to raise up the presses. Took a weird fall on Friday and my knee's a little wonky on me. Whew. This has been a really fun week. The Bats, Cats, and Rats tour giveaway was fun to do. Really excited that Live Nation chose to work with me on that. That would be Aquabats, Coffin Cats, and Mike V and the Rats. They are playing on Tuesday. I was able to give away a couple pairs of tickets for that over on Instagram. And I will be going to that. Hey, don't worry, I'm chilling. I'm new to live streaming. Congratulations. We're both new to this, don't worry. I just get on here and ramble. Whew. My goal here is to get my lives up to the point where I can accept super chats and things like that. I have no clue how any of that works. This is all new to me. But if this is something that you enjoy watching, feel free to share it with your friends. This is a niche thing to enjoy. Some people say it's relaxing. We'll go from there. Oh, hey. Cool. Well, thanks for watching then. I twist you guys around here. You guys are on an extension cord to charge right now. Whew. Let's see. Let's talk about the difference between life boards and factory boards. So a factory board is the general board you're going to find on the wall in a skate shop, unfortunately. Those are boards that have been made in a factory, sat on a warehouse shelf, sat on the skate shop shelf, and then they maybe reached your feet. Here at Life Skateboards, we make your board for you. Sorry, I'm having difficulty with this tape here. It's not wanting me to... There we go. So here at Life Skateboards, we make your board for you. That way you get exactly what you want. Lots of differences in the process of the board making. We've got long press and cure times here. As you can see, we're rolling the glue by hand. I am American. Good question. We roll the glue by hand. We do long press and cure times. The boards are in the press for 24 hours and then they cure for 7 days. After that, the shape's cut out, shaped by hand, and then the graphic application process is a no-stress graphic application process with lino blocks. Those are relief images carved by one of our artists here. The difference between that and a factory board is a factory board gets their graphic applied with a heat transfer. Heat transfers suck. It doesn't matter that the entire industry uses it. It doesn't matter that that's the standard for the industry. All it is a corner cutting process to quickly mass produce photorealistic images without caring about the quality of the board or what it does to the board. Now let's think about what a heat transfer does to the board. As you can see right here, I'm turning flimsy wood into a very strong skateboard. And that's happening with the bond between the maple and the glue. What weakens bonds between maple and glue? One of those things would be heat. Thank you, White Blue. Hey, Tristan, thanks for popping in. But as I said, heat weakens the bond between the glue and the maple. So when you run that board through a heat transfer machine, which is a 200-degree heat roller, it's going to weaken that bond. But it's okay, because that company was able to push out a bunch of boards really fast, right? No. See, here at Life Skateboards, we never turned in quality for quantity. We just make sure that no matter how many we're making or how many we have to make, your quality is going to be good. And no worries, Tristan. I may have missed actually going live. Been really busy. Sorry. We got do different plywoods cure at different times. No, it's not the. It's not the wood itself that determines the cure time. It's the glue. So here at Life Skateboards, we're using Type Bond 2 with Great Lakes maple. So that's going to be a 24-hour press time with a 7-day cure time. What's up, Beck? Beck. People have been comparing the graphics I've been doing to Beck. Hey man, thanks for hopping in here. I haven't been able to do lives for a few days, so happy to be on here with you. And remember guys, if this is something you enjoy watching, share it with your friends, share it on your Facebook, share it on your Instagram, whatever you need to do. Let's get the right people watching this that enjoy watching boards being made the right way. And if you're watching this after my live, or you want to just help out my channel, there is a playlist on my channel called Watch This For Me. If you hop in there and play that, you're going to boost my watch hours for me, and I greatly appreciate it. Alright, so we went ahead and glued these two up for today. Let me turn you around. I'm going to tape this one up. You don't need to worry about it, I'm showing. The coolest thing you can do on a live stream video is hit that little share button and share it with some people. At least for right now. That's probably the coolest thing you can do. On my page. Ugh. So now I'm going to tape these up, and the reason I'm taping these ends up is so when it gets in the press and it's under pressure, it doesn't slide around. All these plies stay together. And the alignment isn't messed up. Alrighty. And if you can, if you're watching this, go ahead and hit that like button for me so the algorithm knows what's up with you guys watching. Oh. Moving you over here, I'm going to load the press up. We're going to raise it up. This is going to be the painful part of my day. I'm having difficulty kneeling at the moment, so we'll see how this goes. Going to mark this one for 7, this one for 6. If you guys have any question about the board making process, this is the point where I can answer questions a lot easier. There's going to be 6 boards in the next room for me to shape. When I'm on the orbital, I'll be able to answer questions, but for the rest of the process, it's pretty hard for me to see the chat or answer questions. So when I'm not responding, you guys talk to each other. Find out what you do for fun. Favorite skate spot is. Where your favorite thing to skate is, favorite skateboarder, where you're from, all that fun stuff. I really enjoy going back into the chat and checking those people chiming in on where they're from threads. It makes me happy to know there's people all over the world enjoying this. And remember guys, you can get one of these boards over at lifeskateboard.com. Seeing a bunch of questions in there. They are absolutely inferior. Anything with birch in it sucks. Hey, there we go. There's Sam Cook. Right there. That's the owner. Any questions can be ran directly through him now. Having some issues kneeling today, Sam. This is the hardest part of my day, and I'm not going to complain about leg pain right now. How do ours compare to BBS? Ours aren't garbage. That's a good answer. Never mind, Sam's hopping off of there. Well, here's someone said, why are these people trying to market these poorly made boards to the public? Well, you're dealing with an industry that has been able to trick customers for a very, very long time, and the customers just kind of eat it up. I mean, they're making boards that are weak, damaging the board with the graphic application process, and then when people complain about it, they tell them to land bolts. I think that's pretty ridiculous. Seeing all these posts from like Paul Schmidt talking about how they need to work on some new material to fit into the board to make it stronger because their riders are breaking boards on the first session. That's so strange. So strange to me when all they can do is just kind of take a step back, maybe fix the board making process that they've stuck with for so long, and things will get better. No, I do not smoke weed, I'm showing. Odd questions. Yeah, there was a period of time where I was one of the customers that was fooled. I was working in a skate shop, going through a deck a week. Yes, that's a lot, but I skated every day and I was heavy footed. Then I put my feet on one of these and it lasted me like 4 times as long. That's when I realized craft boards are the way to go. That was before I worked here. That was just me loving the boards. Someone said, can we see a finished board? Absolutely. There we go. Alright, so that's loaded up in there. Somebody wanted to see a finished board, so before we go in here and shape, I'll grab some of these out for you. Thank you, Charlie. So here's one. This is a popsicle here with the knife graphic. Really great board. Really, really nice concave. Body bumps. Good kick. Let's see. Here's a funky one. This is called our 8-bit football. Bill Gungary had us make this one. Why? Why not? You gotta treat this tail like it's the full tail. It's weird. Here's a fat punk point with the night graphic. Here's another popsicle with the bruised heel graphic. Really nice graphic there. So all these graphics are applied with lino blocks. So they're relief images carved into a big, it's kind of like a big stamp. Roll the ink on them, slap it on there. I love them. Gives you a lot of versatility with the colors and everything else. Let's see, what else we got here? We got a Josh Garrels collab. If you're familiar with Josh Garrels, we make some of those for him. If you want to get one of these of your own, you go to lifeskateboard.com, and on the website you're going to have the option to pick your graphics, pick your bottom color, pick your ply number, and choose from over 77 different shapes. Do we ship to Europe? We do ship all over the world. I will warn you, international shipping sucks. So what we did was we have a flat rate. Sometimes we lose money on this, but we're selling multiple boards if we do this. So order with your friends. If you order multiple, it'll offset that international shipping price because it is a flat rate. And that's the best way to get something from us overseas. Those are popsicles. Here's a football with the praying hands graphic. Really nice graphic. Here's a twin with the twin printed Dewey graphic. And this is a big knucklehead. Ooh, black on black. There we go. Here's a nice one. This will show up real nice. This is one of my favorite graphics. It's the sturgeon. Beautiful graphic here by Ben Blakely. That's on our big knucklehead. So we've got several of these in different sizes as well. If you want to check some of the shapes that are unreleased and not on the website, head over to the Life Skateboards Instagram. Sam, the owner, has been posting photos of those new boards. We've got some 14.2 inch boards. Those are insane. Really fun to skate with those new 13-inch slappies. There's instructions for how to order those boards on the Instagram. You just go to the website, type in 140, that'll cover shipping and everything. Hey, there you go. Yeah, this big knucklehead here. Yeah, this sturgeon is rad. So one thing we can do is we can do fades on the graphic. We can have you pick your bottom color, we can roll your bottom color, whatever you want. So this graphic can go on any board. It can also go on shirts as well. If you go on our website, there's a deal right now for with a deck, you get 50% off of a shirt. And our apparel printing process is the same as our board printing process. So that means you can get a board with the graphic that you put on your shirt. I think that's really cool. I'm going to put these away and then we're going to get to shaping. Alrighty, and on to shaping. Make sure this room is ready for you guys. It's a little messy, but who cares? And grab this extension cord so we don't lose power with you guys. I almost forgot to cover up the glue. Hey, thank you, Charlie. I appreciate you. Do I think it was a good idea to get a face tattoo? No, not at all. 2 was fine though. I think it's not a good idea to be worrying about the faces of other people. That's what I think. I'm sitting here making skateboards for a living. I don't think these held me back from anything I wanted to do. Whew. Anyway. I don't know. I didn't want to work in an office or anything. I wanted to make skateboards. I wanted to work with skateboarding. So, I don't really care. Alright, let's get these gloves off here, and let's get you in the next room. Thanks, Freedom. It may have just been a genuine question, to be honest. But thank you. Yeah, these all came from skateboarding, so it's kind of why I chose to put them in a very visible place. Finding the place that I should plug this in. There we go. That looks safe. I'm just trying to make sure I don't end up tripping over an extension cord here. Alright, so this is the shaping room in here. All these shapes you see around the edge, these are not boards, these are templates. So this is what the shapes get cut out on. So what happens is we just press some boards, so those are going to sit in the press for 24 hours, and then they're going to cure in a stack for 7 days. And then they're going to come out looking something, let me grab one. They're going to come out looking like this, right here. And then my boss, Sam, will come right over here and he'll attach the truck holes on this drill press here. And then the next step will be he attaches one of these templates to the uncut by the truck holes and then cuts out the shape on this router. And when he cuts out the shape, it looks like this. Right here. So that edge is not at a 90 to the concave, and in order for the edge router to round off that edge perfectly, it needs to be at a 90. So we come over to the belt sander, and cut that off to a 90, come over here, round it off, come over here and clean it up, and there's a Mac wheel over here to clean some more, orbital clean some more, and then graphics are applied. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to go through this stack. When I'm over on the orbital, I'm going to be able to answer a lot of questions. But Charlie just asked, do you use specific router bit to shape the decks? Yes. This is a very hard to find router bit right here. Very difficult to find. I'm not the one that gets it. That would be my boss. You'd have to ask him where that comes from, because I know it's very hard to find, and every time he finds some, he cleans them out. All right. So we've got a fun little stack of boards here today to shape, ranging from popsicles to the new really wide boards. So we're going to start off with the popsicle here. It's important to put your hair up and put your PPE on here. I don't need to wear a respirator for this step, but I probably will. And then I don't need to wear a respirator on the orbital because there's a back end. But for the rest of the steps, I will be wearing a respirator. I'll get back to the chat as much as I can, but while I can't respond, talk to each other. Find out where you're from. Find out your favorite trick. Find out your favorite place to skate. Favorite skate memories. Everything. Talk about skateboarding. You guys know what to do. Treat it like you're at the skate park. Reason I put my hair up is because this machine over here almost killed me once. So now we always put our hair up in the shop. There's that. And so since there's 6 of these, I'm going to go ahead and take them through 2 at a time, 3 times. Now we got a funky shape. Drag you guys over this way and hope this all stays plugged in. There we go. Now this step is going to round off the edge. It's real square right now. Might be replacing that router in a little bit. Go ahead and skip if you want to, bud. I'm here to make skateboards. If that's what you want to see, that's what you want to see. Alright, so I gotta go air this up real quick. This has an air bladder in it, so I gotta go grab the compressor hose real quick, turn it on, I'll be right back. Broke your leg trying to drop in recently and looking to get back into it as soon as I can. Oh, yeah. Leg breaks are never fun, but it's always good to come back from it strong. I hope you heal up quick though, man. That's never fun. There we go. I snapped my fibula a few years back. Took like 6 weeks with no weight to get that back to normal. But I'm living with a tin plate and screw and my right leg holding it together. I'm doing fine. You'll be fine. You'll be back to it in no time. And then you can tray flip anything. Tray flipping, super easy. step is the Mac wheel, and then I'll be able to answer some questions over on the orbital while I'm finishing these two up. This is the machine that almost killed me. comments there in the chat. I'll be able to see that in just a second here. Whew. Pop this respirator off. Get you all plugged in on this side over here. And we're good to go. Let's see. I'm glad you love it. By far the best live I've seen in a while. Thank you so much. Let me see a 13-inch get shaped. Bluntworks. Now, if you guys aren't familiar with Bluntworks, that's a group up in Muncie, Indiana. You will don't worry, they're at the bottom of the stack. Bluntworks is asking about the new extremely wide boards that we made. Obviously, we make boards all the way down to 7.75, but we just made a 15-inch press so we can do 14.2 with real concave. Not something that feels like an accident like some of those other companies. Anyway, yeah, I'll talk shit. There's a 13.2 that we set up with 13-inch trucks that I've been skating. It's really fun. It's Sam's board, but I've been having fun with it. I've tray flipped it. Chris, that I assume is running the Bluntworks YouTube there. I watched him 3-shove it. Or was that an impossible, Chris? It might have been an impossible. Let's see. Thank you, Freedom. I appreciate you. Takes me a second to catch up with things, but every once in a while. All right. This is the final. Ooh, Shroomy, we can have a discussion about them. So they're the ones I said when the concave feels like an accident. If you look at one of our 14-inch boards, this isn't even shaped out all the way, and you can tell that's some powerful concave all the way across a 14-inch deck. So if you like that company, you should check us out. Go to lifeskateboard.com. You can pick over 77 different shapes. We've got little footballs. We've got big footballs. We call what Heroin calls an egg a football because eggs in nature are not naturally symmetrical. And we've had footballs as a shape for a very long time because that would make sense for it to be symmetrical. Board making process wasn't, corner cutting. But then again, and I've had people ask me before, what do you think of this brand? Or what do you think of this brand? Well, I don't really think of brands, I think of the manufacturer. So ask me about the manufacturer, not the brand. What's a blank running? It's 8-inch popsicle. So when you buy a Life skateboard, you're not buying a piece of crap that got something printed on it. You're buying a really high quality board with something stamped on it. So our blanks are $70. That would be a popsicle. Same price as our finished popsicle would be $70. You'd end up with a top graphic, but you're not going to end up saving money by getting blanks from us. So you might as well just get the real thing. That's a mass-produced board though. What shape and size? So I designed my own shape for Life Skateboards. So if you go to the Life Skateboards website and go to the signature section, you'll find my shape in there. I specifically designed my shape to be as weird and funky as possible while still functional to try to prove that. Thank you, Loaded. Yeah, it's a little confusing when you get companies that just kind of pump out blanks for cheaper. Because that's not the cost-consuming part of our process. You know what I mean? So I appreciate you understanding that. Yeah, I've seen the Andy Anderson boards. Give me 1 second here, guys. I need to respond to something really quickly here. All right, hopefully that didn't mess up the live. Digging the boards, thank you. It's for fun. It's for fun. That's all it is. Points on skateboards are for fun. Cruisers, longboards, or skateboards? So someone just asked, what do you like more, cruisers, longboards, or skateboards? I'm going to tell you the truth right now. There's no difference between a cruiser and a skateboard when it comes to the deck. That's all dependent on the trucks and how you set that up. A longboard, however, is going to be different. I just don't do that anymore. Longboarding would be fun for downhill or transportation. You're going to have a kingpin that's at a different angle and on the opposite side of the truck for that. What do I think of? There we go. That's a good question. BBS. So my memory is not serving me correctly. I can't remember where BBS presses, but I will say I can guarantee you if you go and check their press and cure times, they're not going to be 1 hour and 7 days. I mean, they're not going to be 24 hours and 7 days. A lot of mass-produced companies do 1 hour press times. I'm not sure how they do their presses, if it's single press or stacked press. I do know that stacked press sucks because you're going to lose concave in the middle. And then everything that has a heat transfer on it sucks. That's just my honest opinion. Because if you look at it like this, someone made a product, and then their final step for that product to make it look pretty, just to make it look pretty with a graphic, they rolled that thing through a 200-degree roller because that's the easiest way to do it. If the just to make it pretty thing is coming at a cost at the quality of the board, I wonder what else is happening. You know what I mean? Hey, yeah, get one of these. 1985.6. That thing will be fun. Thank you, Loaded. I appreciate that. I've got opinions. I'm sure it bothers some of the people in the industry because they haven't had people questioning them in a very long time, but it's just what I do. Don't get me started on Paul Schmidt. Weird, isn't it? It's weird. Speaking of Mike V, though, I am going to go see Mike V on Tuesday. That's going to be cool. Thank you, Freedom. Yeah, it's lifeskateboard.com. Life Skateboards. If you go to lifeskateboard.com, you'll be able to check out exactly what you want. I am the sole hourly employee. The owner is Sam Cook. If you get a hold of the contact information on the website there, that's who you'll be talking to. You can talk to me through my Instagram at Stranger Casper. Ask Days with Casper, I think, is the email I set up for this. So we went ahead and sanded the tops and bottoms of this one. Now we're going to get the edges of it, and then it's ready for graphics, which is something Sam's going to do. Loaded said, what grit is that? We finished with a 150. We've found that that's the best for the Lino Block ink. Oh, got something in my eye. The Speedball Lino Block ink to adhere best with that. You start getting a little bit more fine and the ink wants to move around on you. But 150 seems to be a nice little middle ground there. Last concert you went to was local band Spartame. I haven't been to a show in a very long time. I think I saw, well, besides like pop-up shows at skate parks and stuff, but Live Nation reached out to me and had me do a giveaway this last week for the Bats, Cats, and Rats tour with Mike V, Aquabats, and Coffin Cats. And then they're giving me tickets to go see it and be a part of the meet and greet, which is going to be awesome. There's a snake on this side and there's a spider web on the other side. That sounds like it's going to be fun. I'm excited for this concert. Like I say, I haven't been to one in a while, especially one of this type of scale. And then the next one I'm doing a giveaway for. If you want to go over there and hop on before the giveaway starts, if you go to Stranger Casper and follow me there, you'll see it. The next thing Live Nation wants to work on me with is the wow, I just spaced, the Coheed and Cambria concert. I believe that's August 17th. They do. They are fun. Coffin and the Caveman are two very fun skates. The Coffin itself, I filmed an edit on right when we made it. It was pretty hard to skate, but it was fun. And I've got a story about the Coffin. There was a girl up in Ball State when we had the shop in Muncie. Ball State's a college up in Muncie, Indiana, that was down the street from the original Life shop. She bought a coffin board to set up with cruiser wheels and trucks to be able to get around Ball State. She came back a few days later because her board got ran over by a truck, nose to tail. And you know what she was coming in for? New trucks, because the board was fine. The truck broke her trucks, but the board was fine. Insane. It was a coffin. It's a fun one, that's for sure. I think the last show that I went to was DRI up in Fort Wayne and at Pierre's. Alrighty, so there's the 1986.5 finished and ready for graphics. Got a little bit of touch-up to do on this popsicle here, and then we've got two more to take all the way through. That would be cool. Hey Shroomy, you want to see something really cool? So I was down on some money recently and sold my boss a board from my collection that he is kept in the shop, so it's sitting right here behind me. Here's the Volterra from Back to the Future. Not the remake, the original. Thought you'd dig that. All of them. All of them, freedom. Yeah, there's I had a Volterra and I had a Nash. Bills were piling up, so I had to sell my collection. But it's still here. I think that's cool. Why do I make skateboards for? I'm really sorry, Dylan, but I don't know how to answer that question. I make skateboards for customers? Is that a good answer? I make skateboards for people that want a high quality board underneath their feet. Yeah, it is what it is, though. Stuff is just stuff. Having a roof over my head's important. You know how it is. But hey, who knows? Maybe one day you guys can be helping me pay my bills. I mean, you guys are helping me push my reach and bump up my watch hours. It'll get me to that point at some point. I try to skate. I usually skate every day. Last couple weeks has been a little bit less than I'd like to. I've got a knee injury right now. Try to skate every day though. Thank you, Joe. Yeah, they're pretty good for temporary tattoos, aren't they? It took a lot of time to get these things on there. Hey, thanks, bud. I really like that people are finding me for background noise. I like that. That makes me happy. The way that my watch hours work is the lives themselves get me to a new audience, and that's awesome. I always end up meeting really cool people on my lives. Always end up with some new subscribers that pop back in on every live, and that's really fun. But then the lives themselves don't count for watch hours. So once I hit 3,000 though, then I'll be pretty set. I'm thinking I'm at like 2,200. 50 Tyson missed the question where I said, so 50 Tyson asked, is Black Label a good company? Once again, when we talk about brands, it doesn't really matter. We should talk about the board manufacturer. We also do all the graphics on the boards as well. Yeah, it is a pretty cool thing to be able to turn a tree into this. Oh, no. 50 Tyson, I just like fell off there. So you just missed earlier today, I started talking about how we don't talk about brands, we should talk about manufacturers, because I started making the realization that it's like the brands themselves are selling a team to you. And yeah, you're buying the boards from them, that supports the team. But the manufacturer is the one that has control over the stuff that I don't care about. The stuff that I care about that they don't care about, like the graphic application, the cure times, the press times, the concave, all that things. The brand itself didn't do that. That's the manufacturer that did that. So when I talk about quality of a brand, I'm going to talk about the quality of how well that board was made. Like, because I mean, the artwork from Toy Machine is amazing, and Don Pendleton is always going to be one of my favorite artists. I just don't like the boards from Toy Machine. You know what I mean? Once again, we're just listing off random brands. So remember, guys, brands, not manufacturers. And if you don't know the difference between a board brand and a manufacturer, board brands don't make anything. So like when you say, is Baker a good skateboarding company? Baker doesn't make skateboards. Baker makes a graphic. Baker has a team, and then they have somebody else make their skateboards. And you say Death Wish, it's same boards, different graphic. Thank you. Good job, Matthew. There we go. Look at this. This is awesome. How much for a board? $70 for popsicles, and the shape goes up from there. Do you make any custom orders? If so, minimum amount of decks would have to buy. You can get a custom board from us if you'd like, and that would be. I guess I need to understand what you mean by custom. Do you mean custom shape or custom graphic? Because all of our graphics are applied with lino blocks, so it's pretty set. But if you wanted a custom shape, you just have to hit up the contact information on the website and go from there. I really liked the art on Mystery. Yeah, growing up, I had a lot of Mystery decks. I will say that. Well, your dad's knowledge on skating was probably more up to the par than the general current population. I'll say that for sure, because board manufacturing used to be different. Shape. Yep. You'll be hitting my boss up, asking for that. Some of these shapes were customers asking for something custom that we went ahead and cut a template for them. That first one's going to be a little more expensive. And Joy isn't a company anymore, Gretchen. If you're unaware, dwindled themselves into non-existence. Dwindle was a manufacturer, not a brand, that made Enjoy, Blind, and a lot of other things. The company that I work for is lifeskateboard.com. Tyson said, is it in the bio? It is. Once again, we're just listing off brand names, so I'm going to start ignoring you, Gretchen. Sorry about that. However, somebody asked a real question: is Powell a manufacturer because they have technology in their flight decks? So that is one company that I will say does things the right way. So when you go to the Powell website, you're going to see that these are our flight decks made in the S1 factory, and all of our price points are made with our partners in China. So they're very honest about their cheaper boards being cheaper boards, and then their flight decks is just a different technology. So their flight decks have wood, and then their secret sauce, wood, secret sauce, then wood. Now that's just something that they do. Their boards flex, they're strong as hell, and that's just the difference. I like the all wood construction feel, and that's why I stick with this one. Gretchen, you just listed Girl and Chocolate. Those are the same boards. Flight decks are unbreakable, and that's because of that interior piece that's not wood in there. But once again, there's a different feel for all wood construction, and then some of that new technology like Powell is doing. The flight decks, awesome. But if you don't want your board to flex like crazy, get life. The secret sauce. Of course, we're always going to be transparent and honest here. That's something that the industry doesn't like to do. I've seen that firsthand. If you guys want a little bit of why some of the bigger industry guys piss me off, you got a guy wearing a lab coat yelling big words, saying big words at his customers and telling them to land bolts because his boards won't break that way. If you don't know who I'm talking about, that would be Paul Schmidt. Oh my goodness. Paul Schmidt is the owner of PS Sticks. I've been doing things for a long time. He could tell me exactly how to do what I'm doing right now because that's how he started out doing it. But then some things started changing, I noticed. And the quality fell off. And then you go and listen to him talk, and he keeps bringing up nanotubes. What's a nanotube? Because this is the only one I could find. And I made that. This is a joke. But you got a guy in a lab coat trying to tell people that the reason that there's nanotubes inside of this thing. Now, what's a nanotube? A nanotube is the strongest man-made material. It's little pieces of carbon, molecules of carbon, wrapped into a cylinder. tiny, tight cylinder, extremely strong. So saying that that's inside of a skateboard would imply that they're extremely strong. But those aren't inside of a skateboard. But he threw on a lab coat, so you guys just listen to whatever he says. You know what I mean? But yeah, I mean, I've seen Paul Schmidt tell people to land bolts in the comments. I've seen Paul Schmidt bring up the nanotubes getting crushed inside of a skateboard. There are no nanotubes inside of the skateboard. And when I asked him what he meant by that, he just ignored it. So there you go. Someone said, do a kickflip. Sorry, skate, guitar, and gardening. I am currently injured with a knee injury. So if I'm gonna skate, it's gonna be for something bigger. Sorry. So Gretchen, if you would like, there is a Slap forum page that has all of the board manufacturers listed in a row, and you can go check those out. Real is not a manufacturer. Real is a brand. All of these questions can be answered by that list on Slap forum. You like longboarding? Hell yeah, something. Sorry about my rant on the industry. I hope I should probably be watching over my back for the flurry of the lab coat coming my way. But nah. He watches my Instagram, not my YouTube. Have I ever played GTA? I think I played GTA 5 when it came out. Hey, thank you, man. I'm right at the edge of recovery today. Kneeling was hard. I've got an old bones therapy knee brace on, hoping that helps. Got a lot of manual labor to do this week, so. 10.1. Check out our 1010. I mean, I think that's pretty close. The 10 on the website. Check that one out. A little bit about the company streaming, and this is no judgment on anyone else. The company itself was founded through sobriety. Both the owner and I are addicts in recovery, and we practice 100% sobriety. So that's why we don't have any references to things on the boards. However, I will say that I've had my fair share, and I will also say that my daily routine involves eating lion's mane mushrooms every single morning. So, mushies, they're good. That would be fun. Put some fabric on a 10.1-inch board. That would be fun. There you go, Mario mushrooms. Yeah, I don't think the boss man would go with that one. Hey, congratulations, Tyson. It's always cool to find that, I don't know, I've been making this realization, especially being in like groups for recovery, like Punks in Recovery, or just being at skate parks and helping people get sober, that it seems that every culture that has a huge drug and alcohol culture in it has a second subculture of people in recovery, and I love it. It's obviously in skateboarding, drugs and alcohol are always in your face, thrown at you, and we don't really get shown a lot of the consequences of those things. For, like, example, Jake Phelps. Nothing was talked about for sobriety. Nothing was talked about for substance abuse when he passed, and that was a great opportunity to try to help the community, and nobody did. So I think it's really cool that there's a big group subculture in skateboarding of sobriety growing, and I love it. That would be pretty fun. I understand that in front of me for sure. Bart Simpson style board. The Tombstone. Where is that? There's one that looks pretty close to it. But yeah, never let it get you down, man. Never let it get you down. Just keep trudging forward. Keep trudging forward. And that's all we can do. Take our lives one day at a time and be happy we woke up that morning. That's all we can do. Of course, Richard, and just so you know, anytime you need encouragement and you see my live going, hop in here and say you need it, because maybe me giving you encouragement could give encouragement to the person that's not saying anything that's watching this, or the random person that's struggling to not take a drink that's scrolling through my lives and sees this. Who knows? That's why I like to say things like that in a public forum, because who knows who could come across it and who it could help, and I'll never see who it helps, and that's the positive of it, because it was just a stranger that helped me, and I'm sure that they don't know how much they helped me and that they're the reason I'm alive, but putting more of that positivity out there and hoping that somebody picks it up is the best way to use your life after recovery, in my opinion. God, y'all got me in my feels all of a Cancer takes away some of our best people. I'm sorry that happened. I'm glad you got a little bit of time with your dad. A little bit more love on here. Alright, now I'm going to get back to shaping these other two. And then it's on to those big boy boards, those 14.2, or 13.2 inch, I'm sorry. Oh. Sorry, I went to go look for my drink. I'm knocking shit over all over the place. And it's right here. Whoops. Sorry, guys. All right. And I think this is charged enough. I'm just going to drag you guys around with me. And you know what? What we're going to do here, we're just going to rush through all 4 of these. Hi there, Bobby. Thanks for hopping in. What we're going to be doing here is I've got 4 boards to take through all of these steps. Then we'll end up over on the orbital to answer questions if you guys have them. If you enjoy watching this or you enjoy relaxing this, go ahead and share it with people. Thank you. Thank you, Jesus, I'm not sure. We'll find out. All right, so let's take these through. Got a big one. I skate the Jeremy Green Speed Lab wheels. They're 59mm and 99A. These aren't custom, these are for customers. But yeah. Here's one of those knuckleheads we talked about. Yes, I make them. Time for the new big boys. Huge, isn't it? Yeah. And another one. Real big. Yikes. That's everything on the belt sander. I was supposed to do this a couple times already. Sorry. We're going to run over to the studio real quick. I am clear coating a board of my own. I need it to be dry by the time I'm done with work. What we got here? Hey, what's up, Zach? Haven't seen you in a while. I definitely will say what's up to AJ whenever I see him. He's a busy man. So yeah, there's the shop that we make all the boards in. That was got a workshop, the pressing room, shaping room, and general wood shop. Now we're going over to the studio where we print all the graphics, do the clear coat, and do the shipping and packaging. Whew. It's a cool job. We can make it even cooler, ordering more boards and giving me more work. All right. So if you're on my last live, you watched me do this graphic for myself here. It's a little more involved than most customer graphics. And here is my next board. So I'm just clear coating this right now. And hopefully that dries by the time I'm done with work. Oh, thanks, Mike. There we go. You go to lifeskateboard.com, pick out exactly what you want, and we'll make it for you. And if you want one of these gigantic boards, and I mean gigantic, this thing is 13.2. These are the trucks that go with it. 13-inch slappy trucks. Isn't that wild? If you go to lifeskateboard.com, you'll get exactly what you want. We ship everywhere. Thanks, guys. That was a fun background color for that graphic. It was actually really hard to do, but really hard to do and really easy to mess up, I guess I should say. So that should be dry by the time I'm done with work today. I gotta go run some errands right afterwards, and then hopefully get just a cruising session in tonight. I don't want to push it with my knee, but I also don't want to be off of a skateboard. That's me. Even when I broke my leg, I was in there at the skate park. Pink to yellow to green. That would be fun. That would take quite a bit of planning. So the way I did that one was did the purple first, then the pink, then started to kind of mix them, and then just kind of had to fade it in with the rollers. It worked, but it was a little difficult, and you only get one shot at it. Or you just gotta sand it off and start over. All right. So next step here is that edge. Hopefully this router holds out for me. So remember, this brings the edge that we just brought to a 90 with the concave to a round. Alrighty. Well, guys, that might have been the end to my day. That's scary. There was some sparks going off in here. I think the bearings broke on this. So it looks like we might be doing some repairs and ending the live early. So don't forget, guys, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. I got some technical difficulties to deal with today. Thanks for watching. Like, share, subscribe. Share this with all your friends. Subscribe for me. Would you be able to do an existing graphic from a discontinued board? I should have showed. Let me show you this before I end the live, just so you get an understanding of how we do our graphics here. So we can't do exact copies of other graphics, and the reason for that would be because of our graphic application process. I'm sorry, I was right by it and I didn't show you. But I'll show you guys this. Then I got to give the boss man a call for some repairs to equipment. So when that router bit goes out, it just shoots all the bearing balls all over the place, and they're really hot, and it's not fun. It's not fun to get hit by those. It's like getting hit with really, really hot buckshot. It's not fun. So, the way we apply our graphics is with these. So we have these relief images here. They're like big stamps, and these were hand-carved images, carved by Ben Blakely most of the time. We've got tons of them. Here's our top graphic. Here's the Lori graphic. This was my dog and the local 8-stair. We got my signature graphic. So basically what you're going to be doing is picking one of the graphics that's available. You can pick a fade, you can pick a collage, all kinds of fun stuff. Unfortunately, we just wouldn't be able to create an exact copy of that graphic. But there's lots of other stuff we can do for you. So hopefully we got something that you like, Freedom, and hopefully I'll see you next time. Thanks again for hopping in here, Tristan. Thanks, Casper's Keeper, for keeping everybody in line. It's so hard to do. You guys were great today. Thank you, and hopefully I'm back on live soon. I've got a very, very busy week this week, but I plan to be working super early in the morning, so hopefully I'm awake enough to actually communicate with you guys. Thank you all, and have a great day.